And they're talking about that achievement process, how they overcame the rejection and the challenges that were there in bringing that marvelous series to fruition. So they're going to be addressing that in the film as well. So it's pretty exciting.
Exactly.
Great individuals.
To me, it's a lot about energy, too. Your energy, somebody else's energy, synchronicity. There's, you know, it sounds like a lot of gobbledygook.
Yes and no. And I kind of think beyond even the word energy, a word I like to use is maybe the word passion. And I think that's a challenge for a lot of people, is finding out what they're passionate about. If we truly find our passion, you know, a lot of people call me a motivational speaker, and I don't really like to think of myself in that way because I really don't motivate anybody. The truth is I help you find your passion. And when you find that, you don't need an outside motivator. You understand why you want what you want, and you get going.
But you need the courage to leave where you are to make the next step.
Absolutely.
If you're an accountant who's always wanted to be an artist, you have to feed the family.
That's true.
As you know.
Yeah, and it is a matter of balance, and any kind of transition or change, whether it's to your occupation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's, you know, even a health change, requires a certain amount of courage to be able to proceed with.
Are you born with a fear of success? Are people born with a fear of success or a fear of failure? What do you think?
You know what, I think we learn that, and it's interesting that you mentioned that, but I personally feel, after these people I've interviewed, that failure is an essential part of the process of achievement. And it's not really like falling down, it's like, if you will, falling up, kind of like if you were running up the staircase, right? Because in the achievement process, you can't help but fall forward, because every time you fall, you learn something that leads you closer. Remember the probability, taking you closer to the dartboard. In fact, Henry Ford said it best, failure is an opportunity to begin again with more education, right? So the only time you're truly a failure is when you quit.
Sure, crisis into opportunity, Chinese, old Chinese saying, I believe, and you've been in China, talked to Chinese teachers. What were you doing there?
Well, I was there for a full year, and I was working with the political party there, teaching about performance, and I also worked with the education leaders. And the fun thing is, after I did that, they also pulled me, and I worked with the Chinese Tourism Board and also China TV.
How'd you get that gig?
Oh my goodness, it was fascinating. I'd been speaking for quite a while, and I'd been running a program called Jumpstart Your Teenager, which of course is the achievement process, but geared to teens. And suddenly one day I got an email into my email there that said, come to China, Mr. Douglas, come to China. And I was like, okay. And I thought at first this was maybe a friend of mine that had, you know, playing some joke on me. You know, I'd always wanted to go to China. And so I responded and said, okay, sure. And then I gave them about, you know, 5 or 6 really serious, crazy demands, because I thought it was my friend, right? Do this, this, and this, and this, and I'll come. Well, all of a sudden, I get a FedEx pouch through the mail that has a check for the amount that I was asking for.
Come on.
And, you know, all the documents to get things started. And so I kind of actually, in a way, felt bad, because I you know, was asking for far more than was really quite reasonable.
But we don't have the courage to do that. Be careful what you ask for.
You may get it.
So you may get it, and you do it thinking, this is a joke, and you get it.
And it happened. So anyways, I rectified that and made things right with them, because I wanted to be honest and made sure that they got proper value and things. And so I immediately honored the agreement and went to China and spent a full year there. And I met with probably about 1,700 different teachers there every week, and about 3,500 students every week. And then, of course, the political leaders at the same time.
Big risk, big life.
Well, not only a big risk, but wholly unknown. One of my favorite experiences when I was there was really interesting. When I got there, probably about a week into it, I was invited to address a large number of delegates from the political party, and I wasn't really sure what that meant to them, a large number. I thought, you know, okay, group of 100 or 200 people, right? So I get into this room, and there's 4,000 people that are lined up, and around the room are guards with AK-47s.
No.
So I'm...
Which party?
yeah, which party? Am I in the right room? Anyways, as I was there, of course, the translator leans over to me and points at the guys with the guns, and he says, I hope they like you. And then he reminded me that he had control of that. And so, of course, I was right away panic-stricken and did my very best. And, of course, they enjoyed it, and we had a good time. And I really grew to love the Chinese people in a very, very fantastic way. Still do.
Great.
China's just such an amazing place.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
China, India, and we better keep up. Well, Powerful Possibilities event coming up for you. No AK-47s
No,
in the
thank
room.
goodness. Vancouver's very friendly.
Okay, Saturday, September 29th?
That's right.
We're going to be down the road.
Here in town at the Empire Landmark Hotel. I'm bringing a couple of other speakers with me. Morris Goodman, who, if you've seen The Secret, you'll remember the fellow that was in the plane crash, that was left paralyzed with a lot of his bones broken and all kinds of things. They told him he'd never walk again. And he put it into his heart and into his mind that he would walk again, and ended up walking out of the hospital 6 months after his accident. So Morris will be with me, as well as I'll have with me Garth Roberts, who's an award-winning film instructor, and he'll be talking about how to create in your life kind of the movie that you want, right?
Sure.
You've seen it in the movies, now bring it to real life. I've got Betty Cooper, who is a former radio host from CBC. In fact, she was the creator of the several of their talk show formats. I've got Brian Schultz, who's talking about how to create a life of significance. In fact, he's a survivor of a very challenging divorce, and he talks about how to get from bitter to better. And then a brand new speaker that I'm really quite excited about, brand new young guy by the name of David Mendenhall, who talks about how to defeat the dream stealers in your life. Because we're all surrounded by negative people that try to keep us back, right?
Yeah, play the movie, as they
there
say.
You go.
Georgia Nichols coming up. What astrological sign are you?
You know what? We had a great conversation before I came on here. I'm a Cancer, but she told me all kinds of neat things about me that I didn't know. So I'm pretty excited to, get a chance to chat with her after as well.
Well, I read her column this morning. She's the most read astrologer, as you know, in Canada.
Neat.
And it says it's a good day to shop.
Hey, we'll go shopping.
And there's more to the story. Nice to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Douglas Vermeeren. And coming up, Canada's popular prophetic astrologer Georgia Nichols studies mathematical cycles and tells us why fiery Mars is so fiery and how that affects our everyday lives.